My name's Cameron, and today I'll be talking about how to avoid internet scams online. It's very useful to know what to look out for because it's a very real threat. So, first of all, it's very good to know the format of the website you're actually going to. You can see at the very end in purple. That's the top level domain. You don't have to remember that term, but you should remember what the reputable ones are. .gov, .edu, and .mil are respectively used for government, education, and military. Nobody can get those besides if they're actually part of the agencies which are able to use those domains, which are all reputable. So if you ever get an email from one of those, more than likely you don't have to worry. But there's no verification for anything else. And the government will always use .gov rather than .com. So be very careful if you see dmv.com, irs.com, irs. Whatever. It can be a scam. You really want to make sure you're going to the government website. And then you can largely ignore the area in red. That's not really relevant to our discussion today. Now, how to read the domain. In this domain, it's very long, it's very confusing, but all you need to look out for is where it says google.com. You really want to look out for the word directly before the top level domain, or in this case .com, .org, .gov. Anything before that is actually called a subdomain, which again is a little bit advanced for this topic, but this website at the very top, the console.cloud.google, still belongs to google.com and is a subdomain. Whereas, if you look at our example, you can see console.cloud.google.scamsite.com. That's actually not google.com. That belongs to some scam site, and you really got to be scared and not go to the site because they're trying to steal your information by trying to trick you. And this is important, and you can stop the majority of online scams just by understanding. Always check the website directly before the .com or the .org. You also want to be careful for odd spellings. Now, sometimes people will use symbols or characters, which can look pretty similar if you aren't paying attention. So we have google.com, and then we have Google with 2 zeros. Again, if you aren't paying attention though, this can be pretty tricky. And then you can also use characters from other languages. And you can say, in our third example, that's also not google.com, even though they do kind of look like capitalized circles. Now, we're done with talking about the actual domain. What we're going to talk about now is some signs of a scam. So, first of all, if a friend sends you some amazing or like unreal offer, you really got to be careful with that. Nothing's free. Your friend could have been hacked or they could be misinformed, and it's very common when someone gets hacked, their email, what the hacker will do is they'll send an email to everyone on their contacts list and then say, hey, it's me, I just found this great new thing, and then they'll be like, oh, hey, my friend sent this to me, I can trust it. But you have to be careful. It may not be your friend, it may be a hacker. Remember, nothing is free, especially if when you click the link, they redirect you to something like Google, an email account, or some other type of sign-in page, which doesn't directly belong to the website. This most likely means they're trying to hack you and they're trying to phish your credentials for Facebook, Google, or some other website. And you really got to be careful. Again, check the domain as we covered previously. That will really prevent this because a lot of times they'll do like facebook.scamsite.com and then you can avoid it. You really want to also be careful of free trials. What a lot of companies are doing now is they offer some free trial, 10 days, and they try to make you not worry about it. But then after 10 days, they hit you with some crazy fee, like $100 a month, and you're going to have some issues. And if you ever do sign up for these services, one thing you can do is instantly after you sign up for the free trial, go and cancel the free trial. even if you continue using the service, it's great not to be auto-billed after. And remember, you really want to always use a credit card online. If you get scammed, you're using the bank's money, and it's actually in their interest to get their money back. But if you use your debit card or your bank account, the bank doesn't have much interest in getting your money back as much as it was their money. So be careful, and using the credit card, you're pretty safe to most financial scams just by calling your bank. Then the next part is phone scams. You have to remember, a government agency will never call and ask for gift cards, and they will never ever do that. And sometimes even like credit cards can be a bit fishy, but most scammers aren't actually doing that, as you'll get your money back and they'll get the money taken back. The IRS will never call you and will never threaten you with law enforcement. You'll never get a call from them, which is legit, which says, hey, we're with the IRS, and if you don't pay us right now, we're going to send the FBI to your house. It's a very common tactic scammers will use, especially when they're targeting the elderly population. So you really have to be useful. They'll try these scam tactics. They'll try everything in the book to waste your time. And if in doubt, you can always ask to call them back on the number listed on the website or on the back of your card or somewhere where you know it's the legitimate number. This is very useful because anybody can call you and say, hey, I'm from Chase and I'm calling because you owe us money, so pay us now. And they might actually not be from Chase. They might be trying to scam you. So if you're really scared, you can always call back, and the person on the other end of the line, if they're actually from that company, will be fine. They'll be like, oh, I'll talk to this person in 10 seconds, you know? And in the case of banks, what they'll actually do is they'll flag it on your account that you're calling back in regards to, hey, I'm not sure if this was the actual bank or not. And remember, just because it lists the number on your caller ID, that does not mean that is the person calling. Caller ID can be spoofed and is often used by scammers to impersonate phone numbers, friends, or family to try to convince you that they are a legitimate company or business when they are in fact not. Now, email scams, you have to be careful. Be careful of bad links. Now, if you get some fishy email, most likely they're going to send you some link which doesn't go where it says it is. And this goes back to the first topic we covered with the domain names. If you know how to read those, make sure you don't go to facebook.scamsite.com because that's largely what these emails will send you to. You can also spoof the text, which is shown. So if you think you're clicking on a link that goes to google.com, you may not be. And largely, even in legitimate emails you are, and you're going to some type of tracking website first. What you can do is you can right-click, copy, and then paste it into your web browser and go there. And then they can't spoof it that way as you're pasting the website they're sending you to in the browser. So if it looks suspicious, you can back off and you know it's a scam. And again, very important, links can be disguised as something else.